Facts of Life. She's now the star of a brand new program called Style and Substance that airs Monday nights here on CBS, and thanks for coming over and visiting us here at late night. Now, I read early on that this show is a Martha Stewart parody, but I read this afternoon that you don't exactly see it that way. I mean, the other woman in the show is kind of like a Martha Stewart-ish person. Well,
you know, her whole existence, that whole Martha Stewart existence, where you have, you know, magazines and tapes and
sure.
a show and everything,
right.
it is, you know, the perfect basis for a character. But
yeah,
Jean,
it is, come to think of it, yeah.
I mean, because it's wonderful in a way, because I love it. I get the magazine, I watch the show,
really?
I try and do my best. I don't do half the things, but you know, the thing is about encouraging
did you see did you see the night that she showed you how to jig a cod when you're preparing fish? Yeah. No, it's unbelievable.
I was probably watching Emerald because you know,
on
he's
the
my
Food Channel,
favorite.
isn't he?
I can't. That's it. I just found out I think I'm going to go visit him on the show, and I'm thrilled.
Oh, he was here one night. He's a great guy.
I know. I watched.
So, but anyway, the Martha Stewart, she's got all this stuff.
Yeah, you know, and it's just a perfect opportunity to create a character that can be larger than life. But Jean is in no way doing an impression of Martha, nor is it based on anything that Martha does or I mean, as far as her personally. It's just the basis as Tim Allen's character on Home Improvement is like a Bob Vila kind of character.
Exactly right.
It's just a bit, you know, what they do for a living, and that's, you know, and all of a sudden this big
so
thing
it's the character rather than a parody or a send-up or something like that.
Exactly, you know, but you know, unfortunately, our press gets a hold of one little item.
As the president is finding out now.
Exactly,
you know, one little thing.
And before anybody has talked to anybody, you know, I had a journalist. We were doing an interview, and he said, well, I hear she's not too happy about it. And I said, well, no, that we haven't heard that. Well, I don't know where you're going with that, but that's what I heard. You know, and he didn't want to hear what I had to say.
Well, has Martha written anything or said anything at all?
You know, apparently she's had some conversations with Les Moonves, and
really?
you know, we are on the same network, so we are in no way going to do anything to her. See, we mentioned her on the show, and we just had a show on the air with Jean Stapleton, and she gets drunk while they're doing this whole cooking segment.
Oh, great.
And she says, oh, Martha, you got to learn how to relax. And Jean tightens up. She goes, what did you call me? Because she wants to be Martha Stewart, but you know, she's not. It's a
Martha could do with a couple of hits, you know, during the show. You know, just you know, little like.
You want to see her get sauce, do you, Tom?
Well, a little bit. I mean, I used to cook with Julia Childs over at NBC, and she'd get a little cooking brandy out there, or a little bourbon, and I mean...
She would have a little nip,
yeah,
you know,
absolutely, a little pop. Now, let me ask you here about Facts of Life. You did this show through your whole adolescence.
I did, yeah.
You didn't really have an adolescence. You had to have tutors and everything.
Well, I had a tutor. You know, I was in kind of a small box. Kim Fields, who played Tootie, was the other girl in the classroom with me. Lisa had graduated early, and Mindy, who played Natalie, went to another school. So it's basically just us in the room, and you know, I didn't miss anything. Actually, I went through all the experiences. They were just on camera. We had our graduation on camera, proms on camera, you know, so I sort of went through the experience, but, you know, I just had hair and
now
makeup.
when people see you now, like if you're in public in a store or a restaurant, do they kind of look with kind of...
You know, it's a cross between, did I go to college with you? Are we from the same hometown?
Yeah, I know you.
To Joe, you know, and to do you hate that? To I've done a couple of movies that people really sort of, you know, watched, and Lifetime is a wonderful channel that sort of drags these movies out day and night. I'm being beaten up or having a baby stolen somewhere in the airwaves, usually nightly, and people want to know if I'm either okay or, you know, how it was to do that, and it kind of struck a chord with them. And so people are, you know, but they're very generous to me. Everybody who comes up to me is really, really lovely. And
I read somewhere that Brandon Tartikoff helped you.
He did.
That even when he wasn't working at NBC, if you needed some help in your career or advice, that he'd be a pal to you.
When he went to Paramount, he was a very busy man, and he took time and had me over for a meeting, and you know, I was in there for about an hour, and he gave me advice on what to do.
He's a terrific guy. I'm thinking about him right now, because I knew him at NBC, you know.
He just was a love. I was there through that whole time. I was there for 8 years, and he was also the first one to okay me to star in a movie of the week for them. And that's a big thing.
Oh,
that's
sure.
a big career change when you're doing
and a big
half-hour
boost,
comedy.
too.
It's a big boost, and it's a confidence builder. And he was just a lovely man, and he was always there with you know, a kind word. And
I met him when he was there with Fred Silverman back in the late 70s.
Right.
And I used to call Silverman Cramden, and I'd call Tartikoff Norton.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
no.
whenever I would see him up until the day he died, God
Right.
rest his soul, I'd say, "Hey, Norton, how you doing?" He'd always smile and say, "I'm doing fine." You know,
He was a love, and I miss him. He was a good guy.
I want to talk to you about travel. Yeah, I know that your dad was a travel agent, so I guess as a kid you learned early on the joys of travel. And I'm told that last June you and your family had an unbelievable experience in Italy.
It was amazing. First off, Italy alone is an unbelievable
Okay,
experience.
let me do a fast break, and we'll continue here with Nancy McKeon, who is one of the stars of Style and Substance. Here on CBS on Monday nights, the toll-free is up and running as time permits, and we'll be right back after these announcements. We're back with Nancy McKeon. Here is Denise in Windsor, Virginia. Hi, Denise. What's on your mind tonight?
Hi, how are you this
I'm fine,
evening?
thanks. Well, looking forward to the weekend, kid.
Me too. I would like to ask Nancy, I know that many child stars, when they are growing up in front of the television, have a difficult period in their life. Did she ever have such a period?
You know, a lot of friends have gone through some difficult periods.
But I'll bet you
know?
didn't. You just seem to be a person at peace with yourself and what you did when you were a kid growing up and being in the show business and all that stuff.
I've been working for a long time, since I'm 2, and I think the main thing that helped me out, and not saying that other people who have had problems didn't have good families, but I have 3 of the most amazing people in my life: my mother, my father, and my brother, and I'm, you know, you don't get to choose your family. And I'm also
you can pick your
privileged
friends, right, but not your
to
relatives.
call them my friends. You know, they're also my friends by choice. They're my family by blood, but they're also my friends. And I think without these people in my life, I mean, I have a stunning group of friends. I've a, you know, small group, but they're stunning. They're the support that I get has just been, you know, immeasurable. And I think that what happens is, you know this business, and you are catered to. You walk in, anything you want.
Excuse me?
In the immense complex system, except the painted line for you.
Right. And except in this studio, and except in these offices, right.
But especially as a kid, when we were working working in Norman Lear's company, I mean, you could have anything. You know, you're fed, you're clothed, you're made up, your hair is done. And that's a strange thing. I mean, that's to have your every whim catered to, you know. And when that is over, as abruptly as it starts, and your day is back, and you're not told when to be where, and what to do, and what to wear, and what to say, and how to act, all of a sudden you have to be you. And you know, when you've gone through those formative years, as a lot of, you know, child actors have in front of the camera, they don't know who you is. They don't know who to be.
Right, right.
And everything stops, and nobody, you know, caters to you anymore, and you're not making the kind of money that you were making. And it's all of a sudden this complete change of life. And if you are not completely grounded, or find some way to ground yourself and realize that this is a job and life is something different, right, you're going to be in trouble. And I just have been fortunate to have a lot of people to remind me what life is about and who your friends and family are who love you. And so I've been very lucky.
Very good. Denise, I'm glad you called. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. And I'd like to say that, you know, I really do admire her for all her success.
Wow, thank you very much. That means a lot to me.
Thanks, Denise.
You're welcome.
Have a good weekend
nice
now.
night.
Okay. Bye-bye. So you're in Rome in June.
In Rome in June, and
with your family?
With my family, my parents, and actually a cousin of mine who'd always wanted to go to Rome. My brother couldn't go with us, or doesn't like to travel, actually, so he stayed home. He kind of likes his
okay,
staying
stay
here.
home, fine.
So anyway, it's a long story, but long story short, we got an audience with the Pope.
Wow.
Which is something that is most people will never get to do, and just him being in Cuba and seeing the reaction that...
I once stood across the street from St. Patrick's Cathedral when he visited New York in the 80s, so I was, you know...
It's electric.
The presence of the Pope is awesome. He's the 2,000-year-old man.
It's amazing, and we were finally presented to him through this...
In fact, we've got you up on the screen there with the Holy Father.
In every brilliant rendering of every artist, you see this aura that they've painted around, you know, figures such as, you know, the Virgin Mother or saints.
Right.
He has that in life. I have never seen that on another human being, and I've met I've met amazing people, from John Wayne to sitting presidents to, I mean, just I've met a lot of people, and this man is mesmerizing. And he held on to my hand. I eked out. I've never been rendered so speechless. I eked out, "Your Holiness," as I bent down and kissed his ring, and he held on to my hand, and my dad came up, and my mom and my cousin, and he wouldn't let go. And you're almost struck with the absurd, because you're thinking, Pope's holding my hand, okay?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
You know, I was having
Did he
coffee.
whisper anything in your ear about black patent leather shoes?
Yes. Little boys will be little boys. You don't wear them to Catholic school, because...
Did that happen to you in
That
school?
happened to me. Yes, that happened to me. I got in trouble. I got detention. I was given detention a few times for wearing my patent leather shoes, because the boys could look at your shoes and the reflection would be, you know, up your skirt.
Right. Except
Which
it
is
really,
ridiculous, which is it isn't.
It doesn't work at all.
I wore
most
these shoes
times.
because I was a little girl, and I well, we all wore shorts. Any Catholic girl knows you wore little shorts underneath your skirt, because, quite frankly, it's cold when you're going to school most times. So you wear as many layers as you can. But I like the sound of it on the marble floors there, the clinking. You know, and that's all I wanted to do, was make the sound. And I got in trouble, so.
You're a great storyteller, and I enjoy your work very much, and I'm glad we could spend some time here tonight, Nancy. Have a wonderful season with Style and Substance, okay?
Thanks. I appreciate it.
And I'll put in a word with Martha, not to worry.
Oh, good.
Nancy McKeon is the guest, and you'll enjoy her on Monday nights here on CBS in a program which is called Style and Substance, and we'll be right back to wrap it up for the week after these messages.